portion Rashi, Torah portion Shoftim. We continue with the fourth reading. Let's get right into it. Moshe Rabbeinu is continuing with his empowerment of the Jewish people before his passing. And we are in chapter 18, verse number 6. Kiyovai Halevi, when will come the Levite, Me'echad She'arecha, from one of your cities, we called Israel, from all of Israel, Asher Hu Gar Sham, that he lives there. Remember, they don't get plots of land.
Yeah.
They get cities, though, right? So they're coming from one of the cities.
And the place the Lord chooses is
B'chol Asher Avis Nafshoy, whatever his soul desires, Elamokim Asher Yivcha Hashem, to the place that Hashem will choose. Huh?
Temple mounds at certain places where
Let's learn Rashi. Why?
That's a place where he may choose. I'm curious about the place that he
So that's a term that we've had many times.
okay.
Huh? Thank you. No, thank you.
It's not specific.
It's
not specific.
It's very specific where God will choose, right? When he chooses, like he chose Temple Mount, but that's a term we've had at least 20 times in the last couple of weeks of learning, right? At least we've had it. It's not a new term, right? We've had it like every parsha in the last few parshas. We've had it several times.
It's not necessarily not necessarily the same meaning. It could be just to one place or another place.
No,
Just a temple, just to here, just to there.
no, that's well, okay. No,
Okay.
I mean it means what it's always meant. And if there was a reason why it meant something different, then Rashi would say, right? So since Rashi is not saying anything on this, so it means the same thing, the place he will choose, which will be the Jerusalem,
So
right?
I finally learned it. Thank you.
Okay, let's see Rashi in number 6. Yava Levi, when the Levi will come, which is, after all the Chumash we've been learning together, I would imagine you're picking up on some nuances of things, right?
Yeah.
So it's like it's an unusual term, when he comes, or here translates if he comes, right? So Yochol, one might think that the verse is speaking about the definitive Levite. In other words, who's a Levite, but not a Kohen, because we've used the word Kohen with a Levite before, but here it's just Levite itself, right? So you might think it's only speaking about a Levite like me, right? That's what you might think. Talmud Loimar, but the verse says otherwise. Visharis, and he shall minister. Yotze Levim, which therefore excludes the Levites. She'in ruim l'shirus, because they're not eligible for ministering. Right. Only the Kohen.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Levite priest means a Cohen.
Yeah, but here it says just Levite. So that's what Rashi's picking up on.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Because remember, the Kohanim come from the tribe of Levi.
Yeah.
It's right. Moshe is a Levite.
Aaron.
Yeah.
Aaron is a Kohen. The same parents,
Yeah.
same father, right? They're coming from the same tribe, except from that tribe we have Kohanim also, right? Okay, whatever his soul desires, and then it's connecting it with the next verse, Vishares, right? In other words, whatever he wants in a manner of service. Limud al Kohen, this teaches us about a Kohen Sheba Umakrib that may come and offer, officiate al Karbonos Nidvasai or Chayvasai. Actually, we just learned this in Rambam. So interesting how you learn something at Rambam, and then you see it in the verse, beautiful. That he comes, the offerings that he brings, the fulfillment of the voluntary pledge an obligation, even when it's not his own watch, and therefore belongs to another, but he can come in and do the offering. So this is speaking about, remember that the Beis Hamikdash is separated into 24 watches, which you have Kohanim, and each watch, it's their time, right? They have 1 week, starting Shabbos morning until the following Shabbos morning is when they have their time. What happens if you're a Kohen and it's not your week, but you want to bring a voluntary offering? Can you take part of doing the offering? So this is what this verse is coming to teach us, right? That anytime he wants to come to serve of his own, he can't now serve for someone else because it's on his watch. But if it's his own offering, that he could. That's the first explanation. Alternative explanation. This also teaches us about the Kohanim aboyim l'regel, that when they come to Jerusalem for the festival, Shemakrivim, that they bring offerings, but mishmar in the watch, and perform the service for karbonos abaz machmas haregel, for the offerings that come because of the festival, kigoyin misvav haregel, like the musaf of the festival. Afal although she'ena mishmar shalehem, it's not their watch. So not only can they come, right, and do their own, but when it comes to a holiday, right, because what's happening on a holiday? Lots of people are coming, right? And there's extra offerings. So they can come and be part of the watch, but they can only do that which it has to do with the festival. Daily offering, you have on a holiday, that belongs to the regular mishmar. But for the musaf, which means the additional, they can participate and have a portion of it.
So on a regular day, they can come and do a voluntary sacrifice, but they can't be involved in like the day.
Their own voluntary
Their own,
sacrifice,
but they can't
nothing else.
But they can't. But during the hog, they can come and do it on behalf of everyone.
Exactly. Right. Even though it's not their shift, that's the key, right? Yeah. Okay. Now, so the verse we just said is continues into this V'sharis b'shem Hashem alakav, and he may serve in the name of God, of Hashem, his God, kichol le'achav, like all of his brothers, the Levites, ha'imdim sham lifnei Hashem, that are standing there before God, right? So it's a continuation of this verse connecting to the previous one, right? So when it says they can do that, they can come and do as their heart's desire or their soul's desire, it means to serve. And as we said in the two instances, their own obligation of an offering that they've said, I'm going to bring an offering, or they've made a vow, or for the holidays. Okay, number 8. Chelik kechelek yechelu levadim imkarav al ha'aves. Chelik kechelek means a portion like a portion, meaning an equal portion, right? That's what it means. Yechelu, they shall eat, right? They eat. Levad, except mimkarav al ha'aves, that which is sold by the forefather. Okay. That's an unusual term. Let's see. Actually, we have kechelik. Kechelik is also kind of an unusual term, like portion, like a portion, right? Also an unusual term. So Rashi picks up on that. Chelik, kechelik, yachelu. A portion for a portion they shall eat. Malamed, this teaches a shechol kim ba'ereis. So this is coming to teach us that they divide also the hides of the offering. The basar siri chatas, and the meat of the he-goat sin offering. That sin offerings are especially for the festivals. It consists of an oil offering whose meat is completely burnt, right? And they wouldn't get from that, but from the sin offering, they would get part of the meat. So this comes to teach us that they officiate during the festival, right? When it's not their own watch, and they can partake of the hides and the flesh of the festival offerings. In other words, the previous verse said that they can officiate, right? But do they get a portion? That's what this verse is coming to add, right? That they're getting a portion. And what comes to the Kohanim? They get the hides and they get the meat of a sin offering of the holiday, because most of the offerings are actually of the holiday would be an oila offering, which means it ascends and it's all burnt up. They don't get anything.
Are those
So,
grain offerings?
huh?
Oh, it just.
Oil
Yeah,
offering.
oil.
So oil offering, right? It ascends
Yeah,
completely in
yeah.
smoke, right? So they wouldn't get a portion,
No,
right? But what do they get? What's left for the Kohanim? They get the hides of all those portions, right? Of the oil offering, and they get from the sin offering that is unique to the holiday. Yeah.
yes.
Yachol. So one might think that they take a share of Idvarim Abayim Shalom Machmas HaRegel, that they get a portion of the things that are not to do with the festival. Kigoyin to meet him, like the daily continual offering, Musafim Shabbos, or the Musaf Shabbos, or Nedarim V'Nedavos, or the vows of the free will offerings that individuals bring that are unrelated to the holiday. Talmud Loimar, but the verse says the other words, Levad Mimkarav Shala Alavaisav. Ah, that was the second part over here, right? That except for that which transacted by the forefathers, meaning other than that which the forefathers sold, made David and Shmuel in the days of David and Shmuel, Shenikbu hamishmaris, when they fixed the watches and sold to each other, saying, Tolata Shabbatcha, you take your week, Vaniya Tol Shabbata, and I will take my week. Very interesting.
So
And according to the way Rashi's learning this,
Yeah.
this part of the verse had no meaning until King David and the prophet Shmuel set up that there should be 20, because we learned this already, that the 24 watches is not a biblical idea. It's a rabbinic idea,
Yeah.
but it happened, you know how many years after this? Almost 500 years later. No, because 369 of Shilai, 14 years of conquering and dividing the land, right? And 54 years of Gov and Nivan. So, you know, it's just a little over 400, yeah, 400 and something, 430 years or something like that, right? Afterwards. So till then, what did this verse mean?
Nothing.
Well, I don't know. I had to mean something, but you
Yeah.
know, but remember Rashi's learning the simple meaning. Why this is the simple meaning? Because it's almost like a prophecy telling in the future. I mean, it is, but simple meaning is a prophecy, right?
Yeah.
That's what's unusual. So, because what is that part of the verse coming to tell us? That they're only getting what's unique to the holiday, but levad, except there's an exception here, right? The word levad means exception. That which was sold by the forefathers. What does that mean? So simple meaning is that later on, King David and the prophet Samuel, right? They set up they set it up. And in a way, it's like you're selling. What are you selling over here? Because biblically, every Kohen has a right to any time.
Yeah.
Right? But they set it up, you don't have. So then the kind of like the business agreement, so to speak, is you take your week and I'll take my week, right?
Yeah.
But that's what has to do with the week, not with the festival,
Yeah.
right? It's
And there hasn't been a system set up here for how the festivals aren't divided up. It's just whoever does.
no, there is, because it's part of a week of festival, right?
But then you're allowed to, but then another code, like it's, I understand here it's saying like you can't like, every week is allocated you can't. You're not entitled, if you come or if you're coming to do a festival service, you're not entitled to like let's say a festival is on Shabbos, you're not entitled to the Shabbos offering.
Right.
You're only entitled to the festival offering.
Right.
But I thought it was also saying that basically, like anyone could just show up and like add himself to the.
That's first personal offerings.
Oh, okay.
If I want to bring my personal offering, I'm
Yeah.
a kohen, right? For
Yeah.
the moment. And I want to bring my personal offering.
Yeah,
and it's not my week, I can do the service.
yeah,
And not only that, I can even participate and get chechelik, portion like a portion,
yeah.
right? I can get,
But
right?
only
That's what
from the
our
festival.
that's what our verse just said.
Yeah, yeah.
No, even of mine.
Okay.
But if your personal offering, I can't. Only
Okay.
mine,
Okay.
right? And but I also get a portion of the holiday festival, right? I don't get that which was divided between
Yeah,
the Kohanim that
Okay.
everybody gets their week,
yeah,
right? That part, right? Which, in other words, when you're getting your week, it means you're getting the normal thing of the week.
exactly.
The normal thing of the week is the daily service, the
Yeah.
daily offering, and the Shabbos service, and the Shabbos offering,
Yeah,
and which means Musaf, right?
yeah,
Now, what's unique in this week is there's a festival. That's not like a normal week. Every coin has the right. Okay.
yeah,
Number 9. Ki ata ba'al haaretz, because you have come to the land that Hashem Elokecha, that Hashem, your God, Nisan Loch, is giving to you. That's also another thing that this is probably said even more than anything else. To the land that God is giving you.
yeah,
That Hashem, your God, is giving you. That is a phrase that's used so often. It's giving to you, Loch. Do not learn from the abominations of those nations. Rashi, number 9. Do not learn to act. But you do learn about the abomination of in order to understand, to instruct. In others, you need to understand their actions and their ways. How decadent they are. In order to instruct your children. Don't do such and such. Of the nations. As you need to understand it, not right. Rashi is being very precise in what the word is. Don't learn in order to do like them,
yeah,
but learn, which means implied, learn so you can know what not to do and what not, and how to teach your children that they shouldn't do it. Don't be ignorant of it, in other words. Okay.
but it's interesting, this is attached to the verse, since you're entering the land of the eternal law, you're,
Well, because in the desert, they're not learning from everybody.
Oh, 'cause
The
there's-
desert, they're living on their own, right?
yeah,
They're going into the land, they're going to live amongst nations there,
okay,
right? They're not getting rid of all the nations right away. It takes
Yeah.
time,
yeah,
right? It takes time.
Okay.
Number 10. When you will find amongst you someone who passes his son or daughter through fire, kaisem or soothsayer, ksomim, a diviner of auspicious times, a menachesh, for someone who interprets omens, or a sorcerer. Rashi, number 10. Right, so, and others don't learn from their ways, but it looks like you might find sometimes people who do learn from them, right? Someone who causes his son to go through fire, son or daughter, he avoidus melech. This is the worship of melech. They would make a bonfire, mikan on both sides, and they would cause children to pass between the two bonfires, right? So the bonfire here, bonfire there, and they would make children go through it, right? What do they do on campus on what's it called on the first week of campus initiation, right?
yeah.
Right, they do initiation. That's like Melech. Exactly. This is what Melech did. They made an initiation.
Fire?
Huh? They make lots of noise, yeah. Yeah. They do all kinds of strange things. Yeah. No, where did they learn it from? This is where they got it from. Kasim Ksami, one who practices divination, Ezer Kasim, what is a diviner? Ha'echiz is maklite, someone who holds his staff, Aimer, and says to it, Imelech, should I go? Imelech, I should not go. Right? You're holding your staff and you're saying, should I go or should I not go? That's what you're doing, right? And so it says, Ami ve'etza yishal, my nation who asks sticks. And the staff would tell it. Ma'inain, Rabbi Akiva said, what is a ma'inain? Ela nice Einais, those who give seasons, sha'imim, that they would say, Aina plainis, at such and such a season, or not plainis, at such and such a yafa lahasla is a good time to start. But the sages say, Ela echze heinayim, these are illusionists. So Rabbi Akiva says, it's someone who says, oh, this is a good season to begin such work, right? The Chachamim, they say no, they mean someone who does illusions. Menachesh, someone who reads omens. Pita nafla mipiv, bread fell from his mouth. Tzvi hifsiku b'derech, hadir blocked him on the road. Machla nafla miyada, his staff fell from his hand, and he interprets that as some kind of omen that he, da 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 da. That's all forms of idolatry. And a charmer, and someone who asks from a sorcerer, from a oiv, the yidoini, and a yidoini bidorish, as amazing as someone who inquires from the dead. Kirashi in 11. Someone is a charmer, literally one who groups together. He gathers snakes, or rabim, or scorpions, or sharchayas, or any other type of beast. To one place for the purpose of divination. V'shoyel oyev, or one who inquires of oyev. This is witchcraft. Shishmoi pisoim, that its name is pisoim. And the one who's doing this witchcraft speaks from his armpit. It's amazing. He raises the dead, in his armpit. In other words, the dead are speaking through his armpit. So this is the practitioner. What is he doing? He puts a bone of an animal whose name is Yudaya into his mouth, and the bone speaks. Al Yidei Machshefes, through witchcraft. Right?
Okay.
Real good ventriloquist, in other words.
Really?
David is amazing. Someone consults the dead, Kigain. Hamaileb is one raises the dead and sets him on his male organ. Benishal begulgoilis, and he asks questions of the skull.
Very strange.
What's that word?
Huh?
Necromancer.
Does it have anything to do with this?
Necromancer is when you are doing stuff with the dead.
Yeah.
And you're trying to do magic with it.
Yeah. 12. Ki say avas Hashem. For this is an abomination for God. All those who do these things will be and because of the abominations, Hashem Hashem your God, Hashem is driving them out from before you. All those who do this, kol nemar. Second. It says kol oiseile, all that doing this, not it should have been said oise, those that do kol eila, all of these. It doesn't say that. Meaning all of these, that any of them are done. That's what it means. Even if one of them. Not that you did all of them.
Yeah.
Right? How should you be? The last verse tells us, Tamim, translate here as wholehearted. Tamim also, we had the word, where do we have the word Tamim? Anybody know? And what?
Not student, school.
Sacrifices have to be Tamim.
Oh.
They have to be unblemished. Whole, complete, right? So here means whole, complete, meaning wholehearted. Tamim, you shall be Tamim with Hashem your God. Rashi in 13, Tamim tiyem, Hashem Elokecha, you should be wholehearted with Hashem your God. You should walk with him wholeheartedly, meaning, but to tzapela, you should look ahead to him, meaning to trust in him, that whatever's going to happen, it was in store for you. And why are people doing this? Because they want to delve into the future, right? That's what they're doing, and everything we just said. Don't be that way. Be whole, be complete, be wholehearted with Hashem. Rather, but rather, whatever comes to you, accept wholeheartedly, then you will be with God. And his portion, of his portion. Right? Have simplicity and accept it. It's coming from God.
Don't be afraid.
Huh?
Don't be afraid of the future.
And don't be afraid what's going to come upon you. Exactly. Okay.